Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for coming to another video. I'm Captain Titan, and I'm going to talk about the Cold War campaign. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'll do one for the multiplayer or the zombies, because I feel like I might just get, too involved with Vanguard and just forget about it. But I feel like the campaign is, the least divisive part about the Cold War, and I feel like I wanted to give it a solid and honest review and look over, because we had the full year to marinate with it. So, to celebrate the release of Vanguard, I'm going to be throwing one last hurrah to Black Ops Cold War and reviewing the campaign. I'll start off with a little bit of a summary of the campaign itself, and then I'll talk about the gameplay and the way that it feels, and honestly my personal thoughts on it. Enjoy. Alright, so the Cold War campaign is a bit of a trip. You start off in Amsterdam, you got your boy Adler, starts off with a cigarette lighter, as it does another great game. You're chasing after this guy named Arash, and basically he's like a bad dude, and the other dude named Kasim, or fucking I don't know their names. Basically, two guys were responsible for taking a bunch of American hostages in the 1980, I think. I'm really bad with dates. By the way, this is a real thing. So the CIA is like, yo, go get these dudes, and you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get these dudes. So you go to Amsterdam, and you basically go to the outside of this bar. And then you get some guns, and then you call some duty, and then you run up top, and then you execute a dude. You call some more duty, jump up onto the roof, interrogate this dude named Kasim. So yeah, after you interrogate Kasim, you can either bring him into the good guys, or you can do that. Alright, so next up, you go to visit the CIA. Turns out that they're like, alright, you gotta visit this dude named Arash. He's a friend of Kasim. He's in Turkey. He's at a plane. So you basically get a sniper. You miss your shot because you're not in phase. From there, you get a freaking RCXD, and after calling some duty, you drive the RCXD and you blow up the cargo plane. Shit goes down. Movie stuff happens. Michael Bay really creaming himself at this point, and basically, you catch the dude. And he's like, Perseus, he's active, and Adler has half a stroke, and then he kills him, and he's like, oh, it's Perseus. So it turns out Perseus is this big Soviet super spy type dude, and he can change the balance of the Cold War really easily, and that's a really big problem because that'll be really bad for the America. So the CIA, so Russell goes to the CIA and he's like, yo, we need money to do our shit, and they're like, no, fuck you. So they go to the president. Ronald Reagan's like, yeah, it's times like these where we need to do what we need to do, and he gives you money.
We're talking about preventing an attack on the free men and women of the world. Give Mr. Adler whatever he wants.
So you're like, yes, fuck you, Ronald Reagan. Honestly, Mason's at the table. I'm surprised he doesn't do one of these. But, alright, so, next mission, you're in East Germany, West Germany, because East Germany is where the communists are, so you're in West Germany with a team, Russell Adler's team. There's this Israeli dude, Lazar, he's a fucking mood, he loves to eat Chinese food. There's Park, that's her name. There's a dude, Sims, he's pretty cool. There's Hudson, he's bald. Mason and Woods are pretty badass. That's the crew that you're rocking with. Next up is the mission where we got a job to do, so because of that you do some memory digging and you find a phone book full of a bunch of Soviet people in Vietnam from 10 years ago, and then all of a sudden you're on a helicopter transporting a nuke that gets shot down, and you're protecting the nuke, and then napalm saves you because it's Vietnam. So that shit's pretty cool. But you remember the phone book, which is pretty cool. I don't know why you would forget the phone book, which seems pretty weird. Maybe some sort of brainwashing residue. I'm not completely honest, to be sure. But alright, let's get right on to the next thing. Next thing, you're like, oh, okay, wait, hold on. We gotta reconsider this. Okay, wait, stop. So I neglected to mention that you actually become the dude named Bell. I mean, it's pretty cool. Taco Bell is running with Scarface and Sims and freaking Lazar and Mommy. So it's a pretty cool crew. And basically, you got to go to East Germany because there's a dude who has a kid and has blueprints for something. So you go to his house and you sneak around East Berlin, and you go into his house. And you use a trank gun and shit, and basically you take the trank gun, you shoot his wife, and basically when this dude is doing stuff upstairs, all of a sudden his kid's actually taking a shit. You'll never understand. This is really cool, COD timing or whatever. Kid's taking a shit, dad goes to wipe the kid, you actually sneak into the dad's office, find the blueprints for the nuke, kid popped in the head. I hope he wiped his hands before he popped me in the head, because that'd be kind of disgusting, Anyway, you wake up, you find Volkov, except you're tied up in front of Volkov, so that's not really good. So basically some things happen, you say some words, and all mommy, sorry, alright, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, basically, she gives you a gun, you call some duty, and you meet him at the end of a hallway. You can either let him live, or you can... Alright, okay, so anyway, you actually end up getting some intel. So basically, there's like this big like pyramid type shit in the middle of the Ukraine. You have to go there. Basically, you have to like find some stuff, some intel about some stuff that's going on, some sleeper agents or some shit. I don't even know, don't pay attention to the story that much. Anyway, you get there and you're with Woods, and then he like absolutely you're about to get caught, and he like saves you, and then you go to the thing, and like he bodies the absolute crap out of a mannequin, which is absolutely insane. He says not to say a word about it. So you're crawling through, and oh wait, this looks like America. This looks like my town, and then all of a sudden there's Spetsnaz training to like attack America. So that's kind of creepy. Anyway, you keep on doing your thing. I'm talking a little fast. I don't really care. But anyway, you're going through the thing. You're doing whatever has to be done, and then all of a sudden you end up seeing Burger Town dude. I think that's pretty cool. There's a heavy dude. You get to the thing, and all of a sudden you have to download some files. Turns out that Hudson puts a shit ton of nukes in a bunch of European cities, which is honestly is not really a cool thing, even though I think it's a cool thing because nukes are pretty dope. Woods does not take too kindly to that, and you escape out of the skin of your teeth. I don't even know if that's the right expression. You escape, and then all of a sudden you get back to the freaking place, and then all of a sudden everything is good. I said all of a sudden a lot. Take a shot every time I said all of a sudden. You'd probably be dead by the end of this video. Alright. Next up, Desperate Measures, basically, or Echoes of a Cold War. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, Woods, Mason, they gotta go to a place called Yamantau. Who is it, Yamantau? There was Bald Man. And Russian, but now American man. And there was this dude. Alright, basically, so Mason goes there. Mason and Woods are there. They're like, there's like this Russian guy who like loves the Cubs, and then like he's like your extract, I guess. He's like a defector, but he's also pretty high up in the KGB. So he's working with you. So you guys like go through this thing. You take the zip line and shit. You also have Woods like also an onion all of a sudden. But you're going through the thing, and all of a sudden you're going through the zip lines, clearing out some bad people, and then you fall off, and yeah. But you go through this thing, you find crossbow bolts, which are reminiscent of these numbers, and then also you find a picture of an old German dude. A bunch of cool memories for Mason to live through. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous of him right now. But alright, here we're getting back to the thing. You basically have to find this computer mainframe. So this computer mainframe is being excavated. So like you tell this dude, bring a winch to Russian man, or you don't say it, that would be the wrong accent. You tell him bring a winch, and basically you go down to the thing, get shot from every conceivable freaking angle in the entire world, while you're trying to pull this mainframe up, and that's pretty fun. Not gonna lie, it's a lot of mess if you're trying to do it on veteran. I recommend, like, shit, good work to you. I don't really know what to say. All right. Next up, we got basically Desperate Measures, because they find out on this mainframe there's a bunch of like sleeper agents, and then they're like, all right, what's the best way to get a bunch of sleeper agents? Yes, we're gonna send Scarface and No Face into the head of the KGB headquarters, and we're gonna make them get these names for us, because that sounds like a plan. So Cubs dude, he's like actually the high up in the KGB, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, like, so you need to get into this bunker that has the names, and because there's like mold or whatever, which might be the Russian dude, there's all of a sudden a lot of security. So you sit at the table with this dude who fell down with Woods, this dude who had his arm blown off by Captain Price, and this dude who becomes the leader of the Soviet Union. So I mean, that's pretty cool. Anyway, you're talking about like, oh, who should get the bunker key, and they're like, everyone's like, no, I should get the bunker key, and then all of a sudden this one dude's like, I think this guy should get the bunker key, and nobody knows who the hell this other guy is. That's not important. Anyway, now you have to take him out and get the bunker key from him. So you can either give Kremchenko some paper, or you can put give him some special tea, or you can just straight up break his neck or whatever, or like bribe a prisoner to like kill him. Either of these things work. I think it's pretty cool. You take the bunker key, open up Adler, bring them in. They have to come inside. They sneak through a little bit. They do some stuff. They almost get burned, but you let them through. It's all set. They're doing the Russian thing. They're existing. They're being Soviets or whatever. And then all of a sudden they get to a elevator where there's some dudes that are like really Russian, and they know that these guys aren't Russian. And like the same dude that Captain Price's arm blew off is there. So like that's pretty cool. Anyway.
Что вы делаете?
You get to this tunnel, and then you start calling some duty, and then you call some more duty, and all of a sudden the Russian defector man is like being held hostage. So you release chemical gas into the CIA, I mean the FSB, KGB headquarters, and everyone's like cool with that, right? That's a thing that happens. So you put a gas mask on him, and you save him, and after you get these like file names or whatever, it has like sleeper agents or whatever, so you like get out of there, and then you go up an elevator, and after that you like literally do no Russian, because you leave no Russian people alive, which I think is pretty cool. And after that, you get into a car and you drive down an alley without being chased by A, the KGB, or B, the Russian army, or C, local police, or D, any random person on the freaking street that sees a car being chased by a bunch of police. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty fun. It's a pretty fun campaign. Not gonna lie. So you get even more desperate because you figure out that this a nuke architect man is actually like building nukes in Cuba. So you send a team to Cuba that has you, mommy, and Israeli dude. So you guys keep on doing the things. You guys go in through the place. You're sniping for a bit, and then you're like running through, calling some duty, calling a lot of duty in this mission. And all of a sudden, the dude's actually dead. So mission failed. You gotta extract out of there. So it turns out that like you're about to get airlifted out of the thing from a big balloon, but you can only save one person. So you can either save mommy, Israeli dude, or nobody because you're too slow. And there comes the final mission because now you're being quizzed and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're asking you questions, and at the very end, and like you get like a mind trip. There's like a billion Adlers. There's like zombies. There's like a Adler faces. There's like a red door, like a lot of red doors, and then all of a sudden you get to this thing where all of a sudden they're like, okay, so what's the deal? Okay, we tell you. So it turns out you were actually inside of that mission in Turkey where you call a lot of duty and then crash the plane, and then he's like, Perseus is go. Basically, you're inside of that car and that dude like ices the hell out of you. So all of a sudden you're just like, okay, I am a bad guy, but now I'm a good guy and I'm working for the CIA. So like, they're like, okay, can you please be honest with us because the world's kind of about to end. I know we were kind of being dicks to you by brainwashing you, but like, you know, you gotta help us now. So you can either A, lie and then let a bunch of nukes go off randomly. B, lie, call an ambush, not an ambulance because it's the opposite of an ambulance because they all die, and then you have to kill them all systematically one by one. You know, mommy, or Lazar, you know, Woods, Mason, Adler, all those guys. You gotta take care of them, and then you blow up the nukes. Or C, you can be a good guy, snitch on where the where Perseus is, and you can blow up the things. That's the nukes. That's of course the canon ending, but you know nobody really likes the canon ending. I think it's the most fun, but whatever. That's the story. Thank you all for listening. Now time to talk about the other stuff about the campaign. Dope. Alright, so that was pretty much summing up the Cold War campaign, but let's get into what made the campaign good and what made it like not as good. So, coming off of Modern Warfare 2019, we were handed one of the best and well put together campaigns that Call of Duty has made in years. Especially since BO4 before it didn't actually have a campaign. And before that we had World War II, which was basically playing a movie. And, you know, Modern Warfare 2019 had a really good campaign, so Cold War had to really top that, and I think they did in an absolutely great way. The story told a really, really good story. I mean, that sounds stupid saying that out loud, but it really did. It really just told us a story of the Cold War, and it did that well with new characters that we all loved. I think a lot of people genuinely do think that Adler's a great character. I'm personally a huge fan of Adler. I think he's a really cool guy. I think there's like a lot of mystery to him, which I think is pretty interesting. People like Lazar, Sims, Park, all these people were all really good characters, and I think you can definitely see the idea that Sledgehammer had for their like whole like idea behind this. Originally, as you guys may probably know, the development was meant to be a Sledgehammer game, and it was tossed on to Treyarch because Sledgehammer wasn't meeting their dev deadlines. And because they just kind of shoehorned in Mason and Woods in the campaign. Like you'll see this where when you're playing as Mason in the first mission, he has no voice lines, and later on when you're playing as Mason, it's only in a few select missions, and Woods is only in, I believe, the first mission, and then on top of that the one with the Soviet super base. I forget the name of the mission. I think it's like red light, green light, and then he's in like the side missions, and then the last one, and that's pretty much about it. So it kind of looks really rushed in the sense that you don't get to play with them a lot, but it also does that really well by showing you that the new characters are still pretty good. Lazar seems like a pretty down-to-earth dude. Parkus seems like she's all business. Like you can get a good gauge as to what they're like just by playing out the little bit that we did. As a narrative side, I do like the idea that they sort of flipped BO1 on its head with the idea of instead of the American being brainwashed by the Russians and being forced to do the Russian dirty work, it's like the Soviet guy that gets brainwashed and has to do the American dirty work, and from there you can either choose to take your revenge or to do the right thing, which I think is pretty interesting. If I do say so myself, I really like the way that this campaign was done. I think when it comes to the gameplay, there were some interesting sections. I did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. I really liked the stealth section. That's really obviously a callback or like a referenced reused asset type thing to the mission from Call of Duty World War II that took place in the Nazi building in Paris, which is pretty cool. I like that you have to do different things to try to get the bunker key, and you have to like kind of solve a puzzle in a way. Really enjoyed the stealth aspect of red light, green light in the very beginning of trying to evade the Russian guards. I think red light, green light as a whole is such a cool concept of like a Russian base that's designed to simulate any town in America that the Spetsnaz was like training and doing live fire drills in. I just think that's so cool. I think besides that, I think another really cool section. I'm saying a thing. I'm kind of rambling a bit here because this is not scripted. But another thing that I really liked was the side missions that you could kind of close off and see if you could shut down the spy ring or not. That was really fun to do, just like try to figure out the ciphers and stuff with like either by yourself or you'd look at a guide online or you do it with your friends. I did it by myself and it took me a little bit because I was kind of stupid at the beginning, but I realized it's a lot more simpler than I was making it out to be, and it ended up being fun. And I ended up getting the best possible ending where the spy ring was shut down, Arash was in U.S. hands. I think I ended up saving Lazar, I believe. It just became a pretty cool. It just ended up being a pretty good rounded out ending. And the endings that you choose are not really different. The only thing that's different is if you make that one decision that'll influence your mission that you get, but at the very end the ending will only be influenced by the side missions and a few other decisions you make throughout the thing. I personally do really think that Cold War did a great job with the campaign, especially with the time limitations that they had and how they made everything the way that they made it. I think it's really cool. They had a lot of cool sections in there, of course, as I already said. I really liked in Fracture Draw, like you had that like standard like mission on the Huey and the machine gun. I liked the last mission where it showed you that really trippy psychedelic stuff. That was like really confusing, but also really cool at the same time. I like the little zombies reference in there when you have to go into that cave if you take the wrong path enough times. I thought that was really fun. Besides that, I think of worthy mention is like the slow-mo when you're sniping. That was super fun. It felt like a movie when you're just trying to snipe at random guys. The mission in Yamantau, I like the stealth section when you get completely like thrown off the rails and you're trying to figure your way out. That part was really cool to me, in my opinion. I think every mission had its own gimmick that made it unique. Like for example, you had in End of the Line, you have to make that decision with Parker Lazar. In the final mission, you can either kill Adler and the team, or you can, do the right thing and end up blowing up the Solovetsky Monastery. So just every mission feels unique in its own way, and it's really cool that it bounces you around these different locations, and it all makes sense story-wise. The characters again are really good. I really did enjoy like having a great time in this game. A lot of people will hate on the Cold War campaign for being short, and I like same that with this game and Modern Warfare. The games were short, but they were still really good, and I think that's what made them like a lot more fun. Is that you could really just enjoy whatever parts that were there and have a good time with it. But I really liked even more how they continued the story off in Warzone. Now, a lot of you guys might be confused. Like you might be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" There was no DLC campaign. You're right, but they continued the story, and I think it was really cool. So basically, the idea was, after Perseus was stopped at Solovetsky, his I would say his underlings. I don't know how to say this, because Cold War takes place in 1981. The campaign, the multiplayer takes place in 1984. Perseus, the guy that we see at the end of that one mission, dies in 1983. So his predecessor, not his predecessor, his the person that like succeeds him, or like Stitch. Stitch is the dude. This is not hard for me to explain. Basically, he wants to shift the balance of the Cold War, and the way he does this is by having this master plan to reinitiate Dragovich's idea with the number broadcasts. And the way he's going to do this is by in season 1. He's going to, in Season 1, his plan is to capture Adler, and from there he's going to brainwash him. Season 2 talks about how they go to Laos to try to get Adler. He's not there. Season 3 talks about how they move to Verdansk. Wraith gets the broadcasting numbers and the proper tapes and whatever, and you're officially in Verdansk in 1984, and Adler is saved in Season 3. Season 4 talks about the ground fault protocol with how they get Jackal to crash on the satellites so it doesn't interfere with the numbers broadcasting. Season 5 is with Kitsune and how she like broadcasts everything to like the open world, and everything is turned on itself. And Season 6 talks about when Adler was brainwashed, he planted these bombs and they blew up underneath Verdansk, and it caused a bit of an issue. And it wraps up the story in the end, talking about this really cool cutscene. I'm going to play it for you guys one time just because I think it's such a solid cutscene to talk about. So here it is.
Adler, you took your time.
It's over. Your sick experiment is done.
12, 19, 14.
Don't waste your breath. I'm clean.
I figured. It was worth a try. My work was finished before your little act of rebellion. This changes nothing.
Tell me where Perseus is.
You never understood. Perseus was never one man. It's an ideal. Bigger than any of us.
Oh, spare me your horse shit. Where the fuck is Perseus?
Right here. Cancer took him in 83.
No.
A great man with great vision. He was not the first Perseus, just as I will not be the last.
You're coming with me. There's blood on your hands.
Big words from the Scourge of Verdansk.
Fuck you. I wasn't in my right mind. You saw to that.
You Westerners. So squeamish. Look at where we are. This was the Eastern Front. The blood of millions of my people so deep into this soil. Men and women who paid the ultimate price for what had to be done.
You're a fucking monster. I should kill you for what you've done. For what you did to me.
My life no longer matters. Do what you will. Finish what you started on Rebirth Island. My broadcast was complete. I have changed the world, Adler. In ways you can't even imagine.
Now this cutscene, what it really does is it really just knocks it out of the park with making this guy Stitch a new character that seems so cool. I just really like the way that they made him one of the best COD villains that we've seen in a while without him even being in the campaign. His motivations are so clear that he wants to shift the balance of the Cold War. His character inspiration is written in so well, seeing how Adler completely destroyed his career and ruined his life back when they stormed Rebirth Island in Black Ops 1. So it honestly just is a good character. You see his motivations, you understand why he does what he does, you understand that his goals were simply just to cause chaos, and after that he served no purpose, and finally he was killed by Adler. Now that also leaves some room for a sequel with Russell Adler, because I mean he's still alive, and we can confirm that gunshot was him killing Stitch and not a sniper killing Adler, because there's another cutscene that takes place 2 days later that teases the Caldera map in the Pacific, and Adler is obviously alive during that. So you know, this is a lot of room for things to be done with the Black Ops franchise. I think Black Ops is completely done with going into the future. They're just gonna stick back to what they have in the present, in the near past and the Cold War, and it's really cool to see. Overall, the Cold War campaign was one of the best narrative, gameplay, and just overall fun and cool feeling experiences, and it was super unique to the way that it was done. And to be honest, for what compared to what many people might say, I think the Black Ops Cold War had one of the best Call of Duty stories to date. I think obviously it does not beat the classics like COD 4, MW2 and 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, but it's just in that upper echelon where I think it competes with BO2 and BO1 in some aspects, but it just maybe isn't there because it doesn't have that nostalgia giving that extra oomph to it. But I think that it definitely does have a lot of weight, and it was really well done. Overall, Black Ops Cold War is a great game. The campaign was a great game, and it was one of the best redeeming qualities about the game, and I think it goes overlooked because it's a short 4 to 6 hour mode, and I think that people should really give it another try. And as we're headed into Vanguard, I think we should keep this game's story in mind, just so that we know what we should compare Vanguard to and the standard that we should hold it up to. So thank you all for watching. It's been a really good year with Cold War. I haven't played much Cold War this year, just because I personally didn't enjoy it as much. But the story and the lore behind it has been really cool this year, and I had a great time exploring it and looking further into it with all these theories and stuff. Thank you all for watching. I've been Captain Titan, guys, signing off. This game had the most fire soundtrack, though.